Welcome to week 4. We are all about purpose this week, and it is our compass and North Star that really drives and builds this entire map. We have created a map of success this whole month, and now we're at the pinnacle of it all, the north that allows us to actually navigate it, and that is purpose. If you've ever had a big idea and a lot of motivation and just feel like it completely tanked and you think, what's the point? I'm going to fail anyways. This is your week, so stay tuned. So this month, we have the landmark of purpose, this connecting your map to meaning. In week 1, we built awareness on our map. We showed up ourselves with accountability in week 2, strengthened ourselves with dedication in week 3, and now we arrive at purpose. We're focusing on integrating accountability, dedication, and purpose into a unified path forward. By doing this, what we're looking at is finding key pillars to success through transforming action into meaning. Healthy purpose looks like actions aligned with your values and visions. A sense of meaning that motivates and sustains effort. In many ways, I kind of feel like I'm given a gift every day. I feel so incredibly blessed that this framework kind of comes and I get these nuggets of information and then they seem to kind of feel very isolated and compartmentalized. And then I'll have a coaching session or I'll be talking to someone and I'm like, that actually over there goes over here and let's put it all together. And so I actually created an image that I'm going to share with you, and we're putting this in the webinar next week. So go take a look. And what it's doing is it's showing us kind of the foundation of growth and success. And that foundation, that ground is underneath it is the internal work we need to do. It's the internal work that if we don't do it, we're going to collapse on ourselves, and we need to mend that soil in order to get it strong enough so it can support anything that we build on top of it. And whatever we build on top of it should be based on our values, our purpose. Should have, could have. So watch yourself, Jen. But what we're building, the whole purpose is mend that soil so you can plant seeds. And those seeds will show alignment and will show and broadcast your purpose, your meaning. That's kind of the meaning of life, honestly. And so what we're doing is what's underneath that soil is going to be the perceived expectations, perceived reality, self-doubt, feedback loop. All 3 OG feedback loops is underneath the soil. And there are negative cycles to get into. Language of discipline was last week as we talked about dedication. That perceived control, that's going to be a lot of accountability, and we'll get kind of stuck in perceived control, language of discipline when we look at accountability. This week, this purpose, it's right there at the surface level. It's just ready to germinate beautiful seeds of success. You got to get it clear, because if you don't, you're just going to sit there in self-doubt. You're going to go look for external validations to say, oh, I think I'm doing it. Like I got like a house and like 2.3 kids. Like I think I'm doing exactly what this American dream is. But you're missing it, because every time you go and seek an external validation, you're giving yourself a black hole of purpose. You're just emptying, like you're just draining yourself. And that perceived reality will kick in immediately. And those universal constructs will come up. And universal constructs will come up. I get those in collective unconscious. I love to intermix them. But those collective unconscious will also come up. Because of the fact that there's a lens there that you are pulling from where your past is coming into your present, and that lens is just, it's right there. It's invoicing everything, which is causing you to kind of stay in those perceived expectations and external validators, which is why it causes more self-doubt. And so when we live with purpose, as we just talked about, we start with kind of these atomic habits that follow our value and our vision. We go on that pathway of success. We find ourselves showing up for ourselves, giving ourselves capacity, value, and there goes that motivation skyrocketing with it. We remove that cap, and we're going to do that this week. So the framework for purpose is clarity, alignment, and impact. And we're going to explore how these work together in order to build a positive flow state to give us and maintain our purpose, and how that really starts to build and reinforce this map of success. Many times when we're building treatment plans, and in the medical model, we're doing a lot of treatment planning. In the government, I did a lot of treatment planning, called it something else, but it's basically a treatment plan. It's what I walked away with. We look at goals, those SMART goals. We look at objectives, and clarity really falls in line with all of this. Clarity is what truly matters. It's looking at and finding our North Star when it comes to our map. And as we go and explore our values, and in my key steps to live a happier and healthier life, part 1, I'll put the link down in the exercise in the worksheet. We do a lot of activities to really explore what these values are, because what comes up first, spoiler alert, is perceived expectations. You got to sit with it. You got to sit with it and be intentional with it. Do you see where like accountability and dedication is kind of coming up here? You got to sit with it. You got to be aware of it. You got to have acceptance, and then you can take action and say, this is my value, and this is how I'm going to live with clarity as I build further and living amongst my purpose. Alignment comes up a lot. So many times in my coaching session, I point out and I give insight and awareness to what I call cognitive dissonance. Logically, I know. Emotionally, I cannot feel. I'm doing these things, yet my values and my words say this. We do it all the time, and oftentimes we say people are gaslighting, they're narcissists. We give all these labels for something that we all naturally do. So stop criticizing it. Stop putting the judgment out there and projecting your own disappointment in yourself. You're reducing yourself. You're self-abandoning. Be present with it and find your alignment. And as you own your alignment, other people will be able to be present and own their alignment. But we're all so defensive that it's hard for us to find what we want to do, because we're always looking at what we should and could do and wondering what people are thinking of us, that we're missing the alignment with our own values and our own beliefs. And finally, in the framework is impact. I can't tell you how many times, anxious high achievers is my game, man. Bread and butter. Love them so much. Am one. Love helping them and see the progress that they make. And impact is where in like your early to mid 30s, an anxious high achiever especially, but I think everybody kind of has this because they don't feel like they have impact. They're like, what's the point? Like, what am I even doing this for? I feel like I'm just some desk jockey just pushing paper around. Like, what am I doing? And it's even harder because we see so many people on social media who make it seem like they have this everlasting freedom, that they can kind of do whatever they want to do and make money off of it. And it makes it feel even less impactful of what we're doing in our day-to-day. And so impact really matters. And how I help people through it is I go back to value. There's value for you being in this position. Whether you're there for 30 years or you're there for like 30 more days, but there's value for that position, because that position, you have a codependence there. It pays you money. You live your life. You don't want it, then we explore. We get a columns going on, let's get curious about changes in our lives. Let's not just impulsively make a new life decision. Let's get curious about changes in our lives. So many times we don't get curious. We just say, I don't like this. Let's do something new. I'm going to be a new person, new you, new year. Let's do this. You missed it. You missed the point. You didn't find where you are in your dynamic and you're about to go and relive it. So congratulations, you're going to. That's what we do. That's how the brain works. That's a survival function. So when we get curious, we start to see, what is it that I really want? How am I showing up for life so that I can see how life shows up for me? And then I can understand where my impact is and what pivots I want to take in order to make more lasting impact. So this week, I really want you to just be present and aware, to find those times of stillness, to be able to find that awareness of how am I aligning my life and how am I kind of going against the current. I often talk about this river of life and equanimity metaphor. And many times I have a dam metaphor that goes with it. We're putting these sticks and mud and rocks in our river and we're really just clogging it up. And at some point in time, because we're not living in alignment, we're going to get stagnation. The river isn't going to be able to flow because we built a dam. So be curious this week and see where your dam metaphor is and what you're putting in that river that's actually clogging it and preventing you that flow state. And as always, we've got a worksheet below for exclusive content for my paid subscribers. So subscribe, access the exclusive content. We've got key insights from this video that we're going to offer you. We've got activities so that you can start doing some of these key things that help you to rewire your brain and really live in lasting success and change. We've got reflection prompts that's going to help you to build that connection between your mind and body that is so important. So go get all that content. It's going to be amazing. We've got, in a week and a half, we've got a whole live event where we're going to go through a lot of this and we're going to help you build your own map to success. So definitely go get into the link, check it out. And I look forward to seeing how your week is going. I'm Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions. Thank you so much.